Okay, so my take on suicide and life after death. Honestly, this is probably going to be unpopular, but I don't think that death is an escape. I don't think that if you kill yourself, that you have now successfully escaped from your pain. If anything, I feel like you're now worse off because you now do not have a human body to work through your issues with, and you're now a disincarnated soul that is still heavily fragmented and going through the exact same psychological patterns. We at that point we could say psycho-spiritual patterns. It's just that now you're not attached to a human body. But even then, because much of our suffering comes from our identification and attachments to what we perceive as our human body, I think it wouldn't make a beneficial difference to take your own life. Now, I'm not trying to shame anyone who, especially people who know someone who has taken their own life. I'm not trying to shame them. I'm just saying that for people who perhaps have contemplated it, especially us as men, we're up on the scoreboard with this one. And that's a terrible thing to be winning at, right? Is our suicide rate. We're killing ourselves. What is it, 4 times as much as women? Now, some people, especially, I won't get into like gender dynamics this video, but some people say, oh, well, that means that men are weak, right? That's evidence because they're killing themselves 4 times. I wouldn't say that. We're going through something very different than women are. We're in this together now, don't get me wrong. We're in this together, but we're going through something very different. Just like women are going through something very different, right? So to me, let's get into the life after death portion. To me, I don't feel like you either go to heaven or hell when you die. I feel like you either create heaven or hell when you're alive, and then that continues or has the potential to continue after you die. Now, what do I know? I haven't died fully and come back. So this is just a perspective. I will say that I don't feel like someone can just accept a God, especially at the last moment of their life, and then be guaranteed everlasting life. Now, for those of you who are Christian watching, that probably made you very mad, or that probably got you thinking, oh, he's Satan, this is a satanic influence. YouTube is giving me satanic influences in my algorithm. Look, I don't care. I've grappled with religion since I was 9 or 10 years old. I'm 28 now. I don't really care. This is just some food for thought. And without getting too deep into just what religion is, or what I feel religion is, I think life after death specifically, first, I believe in reincarnation. And I believe that we get our memory wiped before we incarnate, right? So we don't remember our past incarnations, and that's a source of great suffering, But to me, I think you would be so much better off going through your pain with a human body as opposed to going through the exact same pain, but now with a disincarnated soul that is still very fragmented, right? You're not a whole soul. You're fragmented to the point where you felt like taking your life. So clearly you're not whole, right? And clearly you're working through many attachments and identifications with your human body and your human experience. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've ascended past that. Of course not. And to anyone on YouTube, especially the whole woke community and, the new age community, who they like to say things like, I've fully killed my ego. No, the fuck you haven't. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Anyone who exclaims that they've killed their ego, they've almost certainly have not. So let's not delude ourselves. I'm not here trying to tell you that I've fully killed my ego or that it's fully under control. No. I'm human with many human defects. With that said, because I believe in reincarnation, it just doesn't seem intelligent for me to kill myself, because let's picture this. What if this life, the life you're living in this body, with all of its defects, with all of its beauty, with all of its advantages and disadvantages, what if this life, this time around, was the best life you've had so far? Let that sink in. As painful as it is to go through your experience right now in this body that you're currently watching this video through, oh my God, so much pain, so much suffering that doesn't seem to end at all. Oh my God. Just incessant mountains of self-delusion. Incessant or relentless cycles of suffering. Nearly every day, there's some suffering going on. What if that very same life was the best life you have received so far? And then we dishonor it by offing ourselves. And I'm not going to get moralistic with you and say, oh, God will hate you. You can't make it into heaven if you kill yourself. I don't care about any of that. I get it. If you're religious, you have your certain thoughts about it. Cool, I respect that. And I genuinely learn a lot from studying religions. I've studied religions for the past decade. So, and I say religions, right? I've studied religions as a syncretist, right? I've studied the syncretism between all religions for the past decade, right? So it's not like I'm just viewing this from like a Judeo-Christian view only. I've studied, I won't say every religion because there's tens of thousands of them, but all major religions for sure. And I will say that aside, the practicality of gambling, essentially. Because, I mean, what else is it? It's you taking your life so that you can go through essentially the most uncertain experience that anyone alive can go through, which is to die. And you're betting on, okay, well, once you do this, then the pain is over. Like, no more pain. When it's like, I'm of the opinion that no. If you off yourself, you now have less opportunity, like way less opportunity to rectify what is causing you suffering, because you are now a disincarnated soul. I know I've mentioned this like 3 or 4 times already, but I'm here to really, like, so that you could grasp what I'm saying. You are now a disincarnated soul that is not having a human experience anymore, but you have all of the psycho-spiritual defects that was plaguing your body on earth. Now you're just roaming around. And to those of you who think, oh, well, if I die, I either go to heaven or hell. Okay, good luck. I don't know what to tell you. That's a belief, just like what I'm saying is a belief. So we don't necessarily need to debate on it, because this could just be food for thought. And I'm also not married to my beliefs. Meaning, I believe them, but that doesn't mean that I fully believe my own bullshit. You know, I believe what I believe. That doesn't mean I'm willing to bet my entire life that I'm right. No. My beliefs will almost certainly evolve over time. They may be completely different. Just tomorrow, I may go through something and realize, oh, wow, I was completely off. But for now, this is what it is.